Ever wonder what your day would be like with Boom Radio? Yep, us too. We don't think about nightmares. Ever wonder what your day would be like with Boom Radio? Yep, us too. We don't think about nightmares.
Once again, it's on. It's about that time when you kick back, relax, and get into the zone. Which zone am I talking about? The bar, of course. We have the drinks. At least some of us do. The approved drink for today is clear, very clear.
Anything is clear. Does not make. Don't think it's because it's water. Vodka is clear. Gin is clear. Going on.
Are those the things that we have here?
I don't know.
We had a drink.
Nobody tasted
that
it.
Talked about something being clear.
Have you tasted it?
It was a payoff for a wonderful drink.
Have you tasted it? You don't know what he has, so
after
being clear does not make.
After being misled by
crystal clear
by Dolupo and Tokunbo,
what have I said?
Let you know that yes, this is the bar, and at the bar that is owned by Boom Radio. You know, Boom Radio stopped giving us hard drinks, and now we take soft drinks at the bar. Can you just believe the sacrilege? We have to. Feedback that I got actually is that you must bring back the drinks. It was something that I got on Friday, yeah. And again, minus that, today we'll be talking about very interesting things, and very interesting things. Welcome to the bar.
Welcome to the bar. My name is Tokunbo Ojekunle. We're here again to do wonders to you, to your listening pleasure. It's going to be a beautiful day. I honestly believe that.
Okay, and of course, the one and only, the me.
Well.
What do you mean by well?
I was reading a script.
No, you weren't. Choice well.
It's all right. Okay. I guess.
It's Dolupo, and they're jealous. I don't care. Any which way, there's just about people looting stuff here and there. It's kind of not a wonderful thing to talk about, but we're going to talk about it. There's also conversations about a statement that President Tinubu had made in Qatar, and seems to have gotten a few people riled up. I still don't understand why people are paying though. I honestly don't understand. But maybe other people have other reasons, but I'm just being me. But there's also a few things across the globe. If hopefully we'll be able to get around to it. If we can also get through a bit of sports also that happened over the weekend. So sit back, relax, and let us get right into today's gist. So starting from gist that I think let's even start from yesterday. Yesterday, a BoAgroup 40 food container that had pasta was stopped and was looted. Yesterday, it had also pasta in it. It was listed yesterday in Kaduna State. Woke up this morning and heard that residents of Day area in Abuja had attacked and looted a truck carrying food items. Also, residents had invaded a warehouse in Abuja today as well. Now, before we go on, because a lot of people have carried that story that it was in NEMA, that's the National Emergency Management Agency's warehouse.
NEMA.
Yes, they have come out to debunk that story that they do not know the owner of the warehouse, but it is not that warehouse that was looted.
But there was looting.
Oh, it was looting.
Confirmed.
Confirmed looting.
looting.
So
Okay.
just wanted to put that out there because that's the first news that came out was that the what's the word now? The warehouse belonged to NEMA. So 3 spades of food looting, literally in 2 days.
This is in Nigeria because
Yes.
there are so many
One-
lootings all
one-
over the world.
Yeah,
People-
this is in Nigeria, but
This is
sticking
Nigeria.
to Nigeria.
Okay.
So 1 in Kaduna, 2 different incidents in different parts of the Federal Capital Territory. And what does that tell us?
Tokunbo?
There's a development about the one in the warehouse, I think. Okay, denied warehouse now. They showed a TV station this morning showed the footages, particularly of the looting being done, and the cameras picked some people, uniformed men. Okay, yes, were members of the force, and if we start with that, we should identify who they were, because honestly, some whipping needs to be done. When we have all those things, let's keep that aside. I'm coming back to that. What is the cause of looting? Is it poverty? Is it hunger?
Is it greed?
Is it greed? Okay, I can conclude honestly that it's greed. Give it to me, it's greed. People, I don't understand how. And the last time we talked about protesters and the way protests become demonstrations. Riots, thank you, Shola. Okay, we reflected again, did a flashback to yesteryear when demonstrations, riots will be taking place, and innocent people having structures demolished. Houses, people who didn't even know what was happening, their houses were bungled, the shops and all were. That's the same thing we are seeing in 2024. And it's very worrisome. Very, very worrisome. Why should you go looting? Why should you go looting? This is something you have to sit back on. And honestly, we don't learn. Look at when we had customs issues, riots at customs, people went there. People never queue for anything. I don't want to say in Nigeria, you can conclude if you want to, but we don't queue for anything. We're always rushing. There was a stampede and some people died.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, an old man was telling me the other day, he said, if there's going to be another sales point on that road that this thing happened, people will still go there and cause stampede and they will still die. And he says many years ago in the 40s, he's been seeing Nigerians like that. And we are now 2024, and are we passing this on to the younger ones or what? I couldn't even talk because it is greed. Greed. Now, back to everything we have said before. Policies in Nigeria might have their own effect, but the Nigerian people is a major problem.
Okay, but people
It
could
is.
argue and say that people are hungry.
If they're hungry, would I go and loot?
Valid point.
Dolupo, I'm hungry. But would I go to the marketplace down the road and cause mayhem there and begin to pick up their raw pepper and raw meat because I'm hungry? These are it worries me a lot. It does worry me.
When people are basically criminally minded, their responses to things will always go against the law.
Yeah.
If you are like that, because in the same situation, you will find that some people will dig in deep. We have found people who have started planting what they're going to eat in their own gardens, their back gardens and all of that. Do you understand? In the same scenario, in the same city, in the same country.
True.
For some people, it's to hit the streets and to loot other people's businesses and all of that. However, forgetting that there will always be repercussions for these things. Nothing is free. There's an erroneous story that was put out during the COVID era when warehouses were being looted.
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh, the government was hoarding palliatives. The warehouses that they were looting, for a fact, belonged to private entities that had used their own funds to buy these palliatives, and they were going to give them out. And all of that. Yeah. But of course, someone somewhere would leak the information because, they were those attacks were well organized. They were well organized. They knew where the warehouses were. They knew what was in them and all of that. I know really and truly that things are hard, and I might sound insensitive, but I'm still going to speak my own truth. But things have always been hard. Yesterday I was talking to someone, and I've done this with a lot of people. I said, do you remember Suffering and Smiling? He said, yes. I said, that song came out. In fact, I call it Suffering and Smiling. That song came out in the 70s. He said, yes. I said, do you remember Iluleo Koso?
The 70s again.
And
that piece of music we were listening to before now, when it's 1974 or something, yes.
Then in the 80s, we had the songs about inflation, and eating 101 or 100 and all of that. In the 90s, Nigeria Jaga, we heard that one, Idris Abdul Karim. Then
we had some positive songs. Nigeria go survive.
Nigeria go. No, I'm not even going to go to those songs. That doesn't fit into my agenda.
It doesn't. But I'm telling you, at that point, where
I'm happy for you.
Your generation.
I am happy for you, Tokunbo, that you have positive songs.
Today, that is what I'm saying.
My agenda is to point out
at the time when those crazy songs were good, there were some that were.
I repeat again that whatever you are saying does not fit my agenda.
Okay, I take it back.
Don't take it. It's too late. So what me I'm saying in essence is that
you are now angry.
Very angry.
A few years ago, Nice, the singer brought out a song called Economy.
Okay. Yeah.
Boredom is killing me. Economy, like I can go on, and there's several songs like that. Shana, like this we go day.
Beautiful song that was.
One Day Cold. What I'm trying to say in essence is that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if the Lord tarries, people will still be complaining about the economy and the country.
People will still be rioting.
20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40. It's always going to, it's a part of life. Do you understand? It is not like, everybody's going to come and look, let me tell you, you blame Goodluck Jonathan, you blame Obasanjo, you blame Yar'Adua, you blame Buhari, you are blaming Tinubu, you will blame and blame. Do you know the truth? It's not going to end that way. The only way is for you to take yourself out of it. Yes, the economy is bad. Yes, the policies are bad. But you have to introspect and look for a way to take yourself out. You have to work on yourself.
Let us call it what it is, Shola. If you took part in that, Dolupo, what do you call it? If you took part in that looting,
robbery,
that is robbery.
It's robbery.
It is robbery. You are a robber.
I think that
you are a robber.
I agree
Capital
with
R.
you because the truth is that
greed guy.
There's something that I've realized is that what you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
No matter the situation, someone puts something here and says, I'm coming back in 2 days. The person doesn't come back in 2 days, but it's there. And some things, it won't even cross your mind because it's not who you are. I can bet that as much as there are people that they will claim that they're hungry, I can bet that there are hungrier people that they will rather beg or they will rather pick up stuff anywhere. Not saying that any of this is good, but than feel the urge to go and loot. So as much as I know that a lot of people have been going on that government this, the government that, I've seen a lot of people, even a lot of respected people saying it's a way that the government needs to look at what is happening and all that is going to cause this beginning of a revolution. They've been throwing a lot of English around. But it's something that I've said and I'll keep saying. We need to realize that there are a lot of very badly behaved people.
Oh, come on.
I know that this might not sit well with a lot of people. A lot of people will come out and tell you that it's because of situation people find themselves in, which I totally disagree. I totally disagree.
I saw a skit at the weekend. Someone showed me a skit on his phone. Then the thing popped up on my timeline again, and I saw it. And this prank star drops a wad of money in front of two beggars. They look like northern people. Like they look like northerners. But they're sat on the street there, and the guy dropped a wad of money in front of them. What looked like a wad or bunch. And one of them got up, picked the money, and ran after the guy and make sure that he took his money.
Just my back.
The guy goes ahead and drops it somewhere around the park, a bus park, and there were three guys sat there. They look like area boys, you know. This happened somewhere in Lagos. And they picked the money and put it in their pocket. And the guy came back and said, look, I think I dropped something here. And they kept on denying until he showed them that there was a cameraman trained on them that was actually recording everything. That was a prank. He even went further to tell them that that money is fake, that it's not real money. Because they were arguing with him and saying nothing dropped here. But he dropped it in front of two elderly men, and they picked it and ran after him.
And they're supposed to even be beggars, yeah?
And they're beggars.
That's where my issue comes from. Like, it's not who they are. No matter the situation they found themselves in, they are not the kind of people that take what does not belong to you.
You know, the orientation we have given people over the time never stays with them. Because
have they been giving anybody any orientation?
No. Orientation starts from the homes.
That's what I'm saying. What's the orientation people are getting?
That's where I'm coming from. I may not know what I want, but I know what I don't want.
Exactly.
And that is why
it
works. And okay, fine. We're talking about it now. Somebody says, the philosopher told me, you can't have everybody on the same plate, Tokunbo. We cannot all be on the same angle of, for example, president is always right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where some people are saying he's always right, I like his style. Other people will still see something very untidy about it. But when we carry that to robbing people, you are going to steal.
It's robbery.
And you're waking up and telling me you are hungry.
Okay, now that we have all kind of like looked at it from one angle, I'm going to attempt to look at it from the other angle.
True.
Are we so removed from reality that we don't see that there are hungry people out there on the street, and this hunger is as a result of what is believed to be government policies? For instance, the removal of subsidy on petrol. Because subsidy was removed on diesel years ago. Subsidy was removed on kerosene.
Okay, so I have a problem with that, yeah? And this is my issue. Everything is getting...
It's fine, actually. That's the way it should be.
Everything is getting expensive per day these days or per week.
Good.
Which is actually very crazy. Even you think you have some money to buy some things.
Yeah.
You
look per hour.
You get to
things are changing per hour.
You get to the market and it's a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
So are people hungry? Genuinely, yes. I think that it would be unfair for you to say that, except that you are completely removed from reality.
Okay.
That there are people that are not hungry. The truth is that even you think, okay, maybe you make some money here and there. You're not even buying the things you used to buy before. At this point, it's about survival now. It's not even about luxury anymore.
Okay.
Yeah? I get that angle. My own issue with that conversation is not people that are buying, it's people that are selling. I know that the next thing people will say is that there's a removal of fuel subsidy. For God's sake, this removal of fuel subsidy had happened since last year, June. Between last year, June, and now, to a large extent, there's been a steady price on fuel, on PMS. Even if there's been an increase, maybe a 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, but it has not been an astronomical increase from like 195 to 6. Do you understand? It has been between maybe like 500 to 600 naira. So there is a level of stability since last year June, about 8 months. Now, please explain. Somebody needs to explain to me, which means that price of transport, even though it increased, should still be steady to a large extent. It might increase, but it should be minimal.
Okay. So
if we look at that angle, so explain to me why things are increasing per day or per week, and then people will still keep saying it's the price of fuel.
Before you sum it up, okay, at that level, let me quickly add this to it, okay? You walk into a supermarket, okay, and you had gone there a day before, and you had bought a tin of oats, Quaker oats, right, from the same shelf, okay? You got the price of yesterday, you bought, you left. You went there again today and this morning, and you found out, wow, what suddenly happened, okay? Extra 1,500 naira what I bought yesterday, and the person looks at you and says, the next thing is, you don't know what the dollar is saying this morning. And my question is, dollar.
Shout out to you people. Dollar has come down.
Dollar.
You're going to explain to me why prices are not coming down
My
now.
question now is, okay, let's assume is a dollar commodity, okay? This commodity had been on your shelf for how long? Almost 3 months or 2 months, okay? And you are telling me that yesterday's dollar affected something you had bought
been on shelf
for 3 months,
no,
okay?
I've spoken to a few people, and their rationale is that they're going to, that because they have to increase it so that when they're going back to the market, they have enough money to buy that same quantity.
Oh, come on.
Now, which makes sense.
It does.
I think
it does
makes
go
sense. Yeah,
for
it
the
does.
economists.
Now,
yes.
my problem
for the
with it is
economists.
that what now happens when dollar is now 1.2 or 1.3?
Coming down, okay? Would you drop the
if
price?
If we go by that logic, the price is supposed to go down.
Oh, come on.
Well, the answer to that is that the particular item was bought when the dollar was 19, 18, so they cannot sell it.
But since you have, is the money that you have that you used to return, meaning that by the time you are going back to return, you are going back to buy it at 1.3. So drop the price so that you can still buy it at 1.3.
Down.
No, because it was bought at a higher price.
Okay, I know you're explaining it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, now the vehicle or the bus that you boarded from Oshodi to maybe Island, okay, suddenly decides to charge an extra.
Sorry, excuse me.
Decides to charge an extra, and you are asking the guy, what is the? He says, don't you know fuel is now?
But my question is,
and that fuel he bought, the one he's actually riding on at that point, was bought with the old price.
Exactly. So, sorry, Bukalami Dubi says, yes, what will happen when the dollar drops? It's already dropping. And that's my question to all these people with their rationale. What is going to happen now? Dollar is dropping.
Okay, so, again, I like the way Dolupo redirected the entire focus to the sellers of items, the market women and men, the middlemen, the chain supermarkets and all of them. Basically, people who sell. They are from a different planet. They are not Nigerians. They are removed from our situation.
Why do you say that?
If they were, we would not be here talking about the same thing back to back.
So it's a Nigerian people problem.
It's at this point in time we are talking about Nigeria, so I don't know if it's. But I think those people are not Nigerians because they really don't care. It's about the money.
Okay.
You get this business for them.
Okay.
And for as long as we keep patronizing them, because most of those items you probably don't have a choice than to buy, they will continue to thrive. And that's where government comes in.
Yeah.
We know that it's a capitalist situation. We know that it's an open market, but no market is completely without regulation. and monitoring. No market in the world, none. There's no way you see things going bad to the point where people are now looting food items that the government will kick back and not look for a way to get involved. Are they going to wait until people capitalize on this new craze of stealing food on the road and in the warehouses? They cannot allow that to degenerate. And the only way they can do it is also to get involved in the market. Now, so you have this is why you have the Market Women's Association. This is why you have all the market unions and everything.
Do they still exist?
They exist.
What they do?
In fact,
They
the funny thing is the president.
You can't mess with those people, though.
The president of Nigeria's daughter is the president of one of those groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they need to do, whether she's his daughter or not.
No, the daughter of Nigeria's president.
Yes.
President of Nigeria, his
Yes,
daughter.
sir.
Okay. Oh,
The president of Nigeria's daughter.
it's fine.
You get.
And he's very into that. His mother used to be. So
the
it's a system that
the president's mother as well. Okay.
So there has to be a direct approach now by government to these people to say, look, the feedback we're getting from people is that there's an arbitrary increase of food items from the market. Because, again, I'm not even sure the farmers are getting as much as these people are getting.
At the end of sales.
I don't think so, because you see, and that's why the governor of Niger State decided to stop selling bulk to certain people, because they know that the farmers are being ripped off and the people are being priced out of the market.
It's just the middlemen that are just enjoying these things, and it is crazy.
It is.
We're not saying that the government because the truth is that the minute the naira was floated, the minute subsidy was taken off, these things were automatically going to drive up inflation. It was just automatic. But the truth is, still goes back to these things that are causing inflation seem to now be at a steady point. Why do we still have a daily increase all the time?
Hourly, like Tokunbo pointed out. Hourly increase.
It's just ridiculous.
So for me, government has to be creative. Tokunbo, if you notice, this is what Lagos State has done. They have reached out to the farmers directly. And they're getting the farmers to supply certain hubs and markets directly. That way, they're bypassing some middlemen.
Yes.
They have also decided to give people, the traders, they give them seed money, about 50,000 naira to a couple of thousands of them. They did that last week. And the women confirmed a lot of people got the money.
They got the cash.
But quickly, some of those people have used that money to mop up the food that government wants to sell to people.
To recoup their sales.
It's not recoup.
So that they can sell at a ridiculous
I'm talking
price.
about
they're not recouping. It's not their money.
To put more sales on the table.
To boost their income.
Yeah.
To boost their income more.
Well, wicked though.
And these are the issues. But again, government should be seen to be doing all of these things. Imagine if every governor in Nigeria is engaging the farmers directly. It will boost the farmers' production because they are getting their monies direct and they are getting their monies in bulk, and people are getting fresh food being sold to them at the markets. Bypassing people who just go there to speculate. Now they're speculating on the dollar. Some people live off that. They're speculating on the dollar. Even on food items now. The way they do to land, people go buy land and lock up the place. Just lock it up. You think they're going to build? They don't want to build. They bought the land at 150,000 naira.
They wait for it to appreciate.
60 million. Someone just did that recently, not too far away from here.
The person who bought it had money.
Yeah, because that's the current market value.
And if you need
he couldn't wait for it to come down.
It doesn't go down.
Now it doesn't go down. It doesn't go in Nigeria. Things don't come down. Yeah, they stay where they are.
Land does, especially land. There's nothing you can do.
Land doesn't go down.
Okay. So the market stock will come down.
Yeah, you see, for the food stuff, the ones that are perishable.
Yeah. If they're not careful, once it's perishable, when those things have, especially those that, like you said, that has expiry dates, if you don't sell it off, it's going to spoil.
It will spoil.
Take, for example, for Lagos State, that there are now food hubs that that are springing up around the state.
Commendable though.
I would rather just go wait for a Saturday or a Sunday, and I would rather buy it than go to a market where I'm going to buy it at twice the price. So if people are not going to buy these things, it will automatically force the price down.
It will down.
Yeah, but you see, the if is a big if, because yesterday I drove out a lot. I went to a couple of places, did a lot of observations.
Yeah.
And guess what? People are still buying things everywhere. You know, not everybody is going to find their way to Mushi, Idioro in Lagos. So they are still at the mercy of Mama Mercy down the road. Do you understand? You see what I did there?
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
You know,
But you also know that even for them,
God have mercy.
yes,
on
those
us.
things will not get to everybody, and that's the truth. But the truth also is that it also means that is what people can afford that they will buy. So even people are now buying smaller quantities from you, meaning that all you have, you most likely not sell everything.
Yeah, but you don't get it. They have already marked up. So they are not losing. The people who are selling have already marked
They
up.
are making a lot
They've
of
done
money.
a markup. And again,
They are
even
making
the
a lot of
manufacturers
money.
need to be called out. The people who are putting things in sachets now, they are increasing their unit cost and also reducing the quantities.
They reduce the quantity. Somebody online showed us how much it takes you to buy a pinch of gari now.
Yeah.
They said they have reduced the content of or the quality.
Yeah, well,
of gari. No. You see,
People are just ridiculous
listen,
at this
listen.
point.
I've asked this question before. You're going to help me out here to explain it. Is it better to beg or to steal?
It's better to beg.
It is better to beg.
I would rather do none of the two. But the question is it better to beg
Is it better to beg
than to steal?
than to steal?
Better to beg.
It's better to beg.
Yes.
Okay. So those who are stealing have an alternative,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Rather to steal, they could beg for things. Okay, fine. Now, if you walk down the street, the person walks down the street, okay, there's every possibility that every house he comes to, it's not likely they give him what he wants, beg what he begs for,
Okay.
because they also don't have it,
Or they don't want to give.
or they don't want to give. Okay, so it now goes back to
Where will he get it?
well, number one, then two, our orientation, personal orientation. We don't love anybody. We don't love ourselves. Nobody loves anybody. They always say, show that man that you love him, okay? Probably he will look the other way when he has the opportunity to steal and say, no, I would not steal. Because we are going back to the grass scratch of social reformation. If you called out the government, just you have done, Shola, which is fine, okay? And government stops looking the other way. By the way, who is government? Which is government? Where is the institution called government? Government, where is government? Is it in Abuja alone?
Government is
Government
everywhere.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Local government, state government,
That's it. Basic
federal government,
local communities, basic communities.
House of Rep
House of Rep members.
House of Assembly,
House of Assembly, House of Rep, they shouldn't sleep.
senators.
By now, House of Rep members shouldn't be sleeping.
Again,
They shouldn't be sleeping because people out there aren't sleeping.
Yeah, so Bukola Medubi says, yes, there's no love, my brother, no love at all. Like, I just added the at all there. But she's saying that she agrees with you, saying that it's because we do not love
We
each
don't
other.
love each other.
We don't.
Again, we talked about this a few days ago. I think it was this time last week. Palliatives and quick fixes, you know. For instance, Lagos State talked about a soup kitchen. You know, the concept of a soup kitchen where they're going to actually boost the economy by buying food directly from the restaurants that make them, you know, in bulk, in different parts of the state. Then
And go serve somewhere.
then having them serve people in that community. And people kicked against that thing. But I know Lagos State is not listening to them. They're going to do it. So we must always realize that we must look at the low-hanging fruits, you know, the short-term and long-term solutions to every problem. So there are several problems and there are several solutions to those problems. But the central issue now is that people are finding it hard to feed. So do not expect only the president, because I keep saying it, drag Tinubu anyhow you want to drag him. It's the president. even if anything is said, he also said it to someone that the box stops or ends on that person's table. So,
Yes.
Mr. Tinubu, right now, Your
Yes.
Excellency, the box stops on your own table too.
Yes.
However, we help you by speaking the truth. It's not just you as the president. Drag your governors, drag your House of Assembly members, especially your councillors, drag your local government chairman, drag everybody that has been voted into power, because they are the ones that are now holding power on your behalf. And they must be creative. They have the power to regulate. Again, I insist, go after the market people. They are the real problem. They have come up with all sorts of spurious excuses.
Yeah.
But they are the real
The
problem that we are
problem.
facing
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
They are the ones that are fixing prices based on a whim.
Well, we'll see where all this gets to. We hope that something definitely has to give at this point. We definitely cannot continue like this. Like he said, government has to be creative. Now, talking about government and talking about the president, there's this statement that the president made that has seemed to cause a bit of a rancor. I don't know why, because it seems like we seem to.
Anytime there's a cough from us, it sprinkles all over the place.
Any which way, the president had in a statement. Let me read a bit of it. It says when he was in Qatar. Anyway, according to the last report, he
Qatar
was on
thing.
his way back from Qatar to the country. He says that I'm here to give you the assurance that reforms are going on. Forget about what you heard in the past. Whatever is the obstacle or problem that some of you might have experienced is in the past, because there's no obstacle in the future. He says, do not offer a bribe to any of our people, and if it is requested or taken from you, report to us. You will have access to me. Nigeria will no longer be defined by the past, but by what we do now and moving forward. Do not let perceptions become a hindrance to your will to invest. Nigeria is serious about revolutionizing investment promotion. We're removing obstacles today. We have done so much within 9 months, and I assure you it is free entry and free exit. Your funds will flow smoothly into and out of our country. Bring your investments. Now, the one that is pissing people off is
That would
when
have
he
won a
said,
national debate.
do not offer bribes to our
A
people.
world
And
debate.
that you're supposed to report to him. What is triggering people? I'm sorry, but I do not see.
No, can we go through one comment that talks about and the reasons why I want to know why.
Okay, well,
One.
Osita Chidoka was on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was on Channels TV, and he responded and reacted to the statement credited to the governor, and of course, which was just recently read by Dolupo here at the bar. And I'm going to paraphrase.
Credited to the president, you mean?
No,
the governor.
the statement credited to Osita Chidoka.
Okay.
He was reacting to what the
to him,
president
president
said.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I cannot, except Dolupo comes up with,
No, you
the
could go ahead.
line. But I'm just going to paraphrase. I'm not going to quote him verbatim. So what he is saying is that what the president said was wrong. More or less like you're trying to paint the people who were in government in the past in a bad light. You're more or less trying to say that your Nigerians are corrupt and they took bribes and all of this.
So according to him, I
Yeah.
think he said it is unfortunate. It's an unfortunate statement. I was shocked and embarrassed that he was continuing Buhari's type of demarketing of Nigeria. He says that many Nigerians will not ask for a bribe but disturb people. The people who will probably ask you for a bribe are in the minority. But they are there.
Demarketing. He used the word
Yes.
demarketing.
Okay,
Let me-
so the statement he said he said they are in the minority, but it's not like they don't exist.
Let me explain something. Do you know what we have done in the past affects most of our people who are in the diaspora at the moment?
Yeah.
Many of them don't get jobs. Once they come out and signpost the Nigerian on their forehead, they don't get jobs. Some have even been like, some are so brilliant, but the fact that you guys, it's difficult to do business with you guys. There's an already demarketing sign on the Nigerian system. not only the Nigerian people. It's already there. Don't think about it happened in one person's government or tenure. It's not about a tenure thing happening. These things have been, okay, let's search our mind. Let's go back a bit, okay? Who has not been through the issue of corruption in this country? Who has not experienced it?
Exactly.
So last week, the story went very, very viral of a Nigerian that had taken 10% value of, some fine or something that was supposed to be paid to Nigeria, and he took $2.1 million or something.
Yeah.
What do you call that, Mr. Chidoka? That's what we're talking about. And again, we can also look at the case in the Italian courts of Nigerian ministers of oil and all of that. That case has been dragging for years. What do you call that, sir? Again, PI and ID or whatever those ones call themselves.
Yeah.
What do you call that, sir? There are several cases actually in all these are international courts. Do you know the sad part? These three things that we talked about happened internationally.
Come on. It's not about somebody's tenure or somebody's president. I don't get it. It's already there out there. It's out there.
We don't need to paper over everything. We really shouldn't paper over everything.
It's the truth. Let's.
At times, you accept your situation and let them know that we are ready to move on from it. And you don't just say it, you show it.
You show it.
As long
show it.
If you know you were not involved, why are you feeling that
do you
kind
have
of way?
a problem with it?
What's
And he
wrong
didn't
with
even
what
say
he said?
anything. He just said
what did he,
anybody that
yes.
do not pay any bribe. I don't see.
I think we should move to another
No,
story.
wait.
because
Sorry,
I'm
before
hurt.
I think that
I'm
the
really
idea
hurt. For the
of
first time, Nigerians should wake up and think. We need to think.
I
Somebody
think that the
needs to
idea
go
of
there.
opposition allows people to feel the way or say whatever it is and just counter everything. That's what I think, personally.
Okay, the opposition in us.
The idea of opposition, you're just going to counter everything.
Everything he says, okay?
Is it sad that there's a conversation about people bribing? Yes, it is a very sad situation that some of those things are attributed to the Nigerian people.
Yes.
It is actually sad that those conversations are coming up.
Yeah.
But the truth is that it is there.
The president, stepped out of his cocoon and went to market Nigeria.
Anyways.
He stepped out to market Nigeria. And in the process, he said he has seen one of the stumbling blocks why people are shy away from doing business with us. And he made bold say, look, this time, don't even think about it. Anybody asking you for okay, get back to. There is nothing wrong with that. And I hope we were able to actually sit back and see and feel how the Qataris actually feel, okay, about that, and see if they are ready to still come on to do business. I think the doors are open now. Come and discuss business with us.
Let's see what's going to happen. Now, let's just breeze through a few things. As the Minister of Works has now inspected the Enugu-Port road, as work has now resumed on that road.
Okay.
On a bit.
The story about that road is that the contractors were not keeping to the standard that was agreed about the quality of the road, and the minister on a routine inspection stopped them. Now they have supervisory members of their ministry who were supposed to be on ground to check what the contractor was doing, to say, what are you doing right or wrong? Of course, they had to take a minister to come and stop that.
Stop that. Okay, so just a bit of security issues. The Nigerian troops have neutralized ESN terrorists in Imo State. Navy has also arrested a Ghana-owned vessel and 13 crew members over suspected crude oil theft. The Nigeria Customs Service has also intercepted and seized smuggled fake drugs worth over 1 billion naira around Omiadio area of Oyo State.
The Nigerian Customs Service has been in the news for the past 1 week. Kudos to them for arresting these people. But when are they going to address all the allegations? We've seen the videos of men dressed as custom officers being dragged by a civilian, and in the video, the civilian is saying, your bosses also, why are you seizing my items? Even your bosses also smuggle too, like basically accusing
That's an
top
indictment.
members of
Yeah,
custom.
so it's
and
time that
excise.
they
It's an
actually
indictment.
talk.
They need to come out to respond to that. Even this government needs to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other case of about 6 or so top members of Nigerian Customs. This report
Yeah,
was
they have not come.
carried by Premium Times.
They have not debunked that.
They have not
conversation.
debunked
They
it
haven't.
too. You know, they were caught with all sorts of stolen monies, and they have been told to refund. And we saw an infographic of amounts of monies that have been taken in percentages and what they should have or have already returned. So the Nigerian Customs has a lot of corruption stories hanging around it, and it's time for them to really come out and maybe debunk some of these stories, or
Give an
let us know-
explanation.
let us know why it happened.
Okay, so still talking a bit of crime. The ICPC is now interrogating CBN officials and a few other people over a 3.4 billion naira IMF COVID-19 loan.
Loan, right?
Yes, they're questioning 2 officials of the central bank and 1 from the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Remember that if you
Did they state the amount?
$3.4 billion.
No, I just wanted to be sure. I needed 3.4 billion
Dollars.
dollars.
Yeah.
I've been hearing billions in the past
So-
3 weeks.
So
Trillions in the past 4 weeks.
a bit of
millions
fantasy
too.
on my own part, but just picture that those guys carted the money away in dollars, and they have it stashed somewhere, and now that they have been interrogated and maybe they are found guilty, and these dollars are stashed somewhere, they can bring it back into the market at a higher. Nigeria wins because it's at a higher value now. Maybe when they borrowed it, it was
When the store come,
$200 or $250.
Interestingly,
Now it's
Serap
times 4
had
times
this
5.
conversation is happening. It has started because Serap had filed a lawsuit against President Tinubu and the Attorney General over this 3.4 billion naira probe. People might say that he was not in office then, but government is a continuum. They're saying that this money was either missing, diverted, but at the end of the day, it was a 3.4 billion COVID-19 loan that was unaccounted for.
While people were dying and crying, you were stealing, and now you will pay. But again, Sarah, you're my people, but how do you sue someone who has immunity? Forget the fact that he wasn't president. We don't care.
we're coming back.
Governance is a continuum. But it's the Attorney General that they have sued that I think, and again, since the money must have passed through the Accountant General's office, you should have that Accountant General's office or Accountant General to the suit, you know? And of course, all the CBN people drag them.
now you
$3.4 billion
I'm going to
loan.
Yeah,
Dollars.
Loan.
Oh.
How do you steal loan?
Because that's the bad part.
It's
Because
not even a
Nigeria
grant.
No.
even has to return that money.
How
It
do
was
you
not
steal-
even a grant. It's a loan.
What kind of thief are you? You are stealing
I'm
loan.
underlining something you said.
Yeah.
How do we make people pay back?
Yes. They have to pay back. Now, it's
People
not-
have not been paying back.
They have not. You have to pay back.
So
They
we-
must show deterrence.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get things done. Government, I hope they're listening. We must show deterrence. Don't let us put these things under the carpet any longer.
Yeah.
You are caught, come and answer. Okay, even you are still being investigated. Come and answer. Okay, Mr. Man, this took place. You were there. What
At least
happened?
probably passed through your office.
That is what people are asking for.
We have a comment from Uluwa Remilekun Tovio, and I think you should read it. You should check it out.
Okay,
It's
let
on
me
it's
check
on
it.
YouTube, and I think she knows a lot about some of the things that we were
Okay,
talking
so
about.
she says, I hope we know that the unions regulate prices. An individual trader who gets stuff cheap and decides to sell very cheap, the move will be counted. Who regulates the unions and industry regulators? That is the question. It's a very, very valid.
Very,
So it's not
very.
even just about the traders. It is. So what she's saying is that it's the unions themselves.
Yeah, but that's my point still. So I am happy that she has pointed this out. So if one person decides to say, you know what, since we are all pepper sellers, I want to sell a mound of pepper for 200 naira, and everybody else is selling for 400 naira. I don't care. I want to sell for 200 naira. They will put her in trouble. The person will be in trouble, right? So that's what I'm saying. it's not about the individual. It's the union,
about
it's the
the
market
unions.
women. We need to talk to them directly. And again, also look for ways to bypass them, like Lagos is doing.
We really
You know,
have
Lagos
to.
is talking to a lot of farmers' unions and stuff,
there's
and they're buying
nothing-
things direct. So I like what she just pointed out.
Thank you
because
so much for
this
that.
is something that we might have
Because-
skimmed over, but it's happening.
It is.
It is
It's definitely
happening.
happening.
It is happening.
Talking about Lagos State government yesterday has issued a 4-day relocation notice to all squatters residing in illegal shanties around the Lagos coastal road of Mayegun area of Lekki.
Yeah, the
That's-
coastal
that's-
road
That's fantastic.
construction is going to continue now.
Yes.
And of course, pending the time that they started and in between some spaces from point A to point B, people have started building all sorts of shanties and stuff in and around the place. And this speaks a lot to our housing deficit. It speaks a lot to it. It speaks a lot to how Lagos is taking on more than she should in the area of, you know, social amenities, because people are trooping into. I can make an entire album of how people are trooping into Lagos on a daily basis,
When we don't have the numbers.
and there's no space for
they
them.
don't even
They-
have the numbers.
Yes, because again, even if government was building social housing and they were giving it all out, would they just give it out for free?
No, it won't
Do you
be.
understand? So, but people will come to Lagos, they will live in shanties, they will sleep under the bridges because they believe in the Nigerian dream. The Nigerian dream seems to happen only in Lagos.
Yeah.
God forgive me, maybe some people have made it in other places, but not as much as Lagos turns out or turns around people's lives for the better.
And those shaded shanties are where the criminals breed.
Yes,
They
that's where
breed.
they find
There's
themselves.
a lot, yes. I totally agree. Now, moving on from that quickly, there are some conversations that I would like us to talk about before we leave. And one of it is that Ondo State, the former Ondo State First Lady, is in the news.
Is she now a second lady?
Former First Lady.
You know, when you are not first, you drop to second, Abi.
It's a
No,
former.
she's not the second
She's
lady.
added former.
So she can be third lady.
No.
Or do they get a list of all the first
Oh my
ladies
God, I'm not having this conversation with you.
and
Please,
give them number after?
any which way,
So that's
Mrs.
water, right?
Akeredolu had decided to go to her social media.
Okay.
Since her husband passed, and during the I think the funeral was last week, and first what a lot of people talking was her seeming tribute to her husband, which seemed like it was more of an attack to people that she best knows compared to, you know, what it really should be. And it got a few people talking and thought that maybe it was grief. Looks like the grief is not going anytime soon, as she went on to post today, just a few hours ago, and I want to read. It says, "Behold the face of Aketi's niece, Funke Akeredolu Aruno, the former deputy chief protocol to Aketi, shamelessly parades 'I am lucky,' bloody serpent. Time will tell if she is truly lucky."
Okay. For those who do not know, the former deputy governor, now governor of Ondo, served under Betty Akeredolu's husband as deputy governor. His first name is actually Lucky Ayedatiwa. And he seems to be a very lucky person, indeed. You know, sadly, you know, something sad happened, and the governor died, and he, as deputy governor, stepped into those shoes. It is looking like they never really wanted that guy to go beyond being a deputy governor. We saw how at some point there was a lot of fighting going on in Ondo State, and he was not even allowed to act as an acting governor when the governor first took his leave of absence to go, you know, treat himself abroad. Everything has culminated in him becoming governor now, but it looks like the war is not over. It looks like there's still this fight against this guy. And honestly, I might be naive and be speaking from a naive point of view, but I always want to put the people first. Which of these statements is what will move Ondo State forward now?
Yeah.
Which of these statements is what will help them achieve the promises that were made? Because
Exactly,
even
Shola.
in death,
Yes.
The former governor is still owing people, and his legacies can only be fulfilled now by his deputy.
Yeah.
You chose him as your deputy.
There's a reason why there's always a deputy.
You chose
for
him.
reasons like this.
So rather than, do all of this, if I was an advisor to Mrs. Akeredolu, I would have advised her to sheath her sword. A sword, like, just keep it
I
under
think it's completely
wraps now.
unnecessary.
You don't have to react to everything. But on the flip side, because I like to look at things from different angles, when people are grieving, we don't know how they would express themselves. I have been there. I know what I went through and how I handled or didn't handle certain situations. Do you understand? But I'm glad that I didn't go this far with anybody. There has to be some kind of internal system in you as an individual. There has to be something, a
Know when to
restraint,
rein it
some
in.
resilience.
Yes,
You
I
should
agree.
know that this is uncalled for.
I'm sorry. It's called emotional intelligence to a
Yeah.
level. To a level. I share your views, Shola, and I'm sorry, Dolupo. For me, it's not the right time to let the Boston loose.
Yeah.
Be loose.
I agree.
Madam, no,
I
don't think
agree.
so.
I agree.
I think we should just
Quickly,
take it
also, before we go, we're kind of almost out of time, but there's a conversation that has now been going on this afternoon where a former Lagos State governorship candidate in the person of Gbadebo Revival had tweeted something about the Lagos Red Line, or basically the rail system that is, and now he kind of made some assumptions that the Red Line was from inception was kind of already paid for, and it had started getting built under former President Goodluck Jonathan.
Bloody lie. It's a lie from the pits of hell. Now, quickly, let me just... The truth about the Lagos Red Line is that there are two tracks that run side by side. The old tracks that goes from Lagos to Kano, and the standard gauge tracks that goes from Lagos to Ibadan, that will eventually get to the north, which was started purely and solely by President Muhammadu Buhari. So what Lagos has done is to piggyback off that track, since it's a standard gauge track. And the only way it could work for Lagos was to build its own infrastructure to align with that. So
and meet up somewhere.
So in some areas, you will lay some tracks that will take your trains to your own train station, because you can't use the federal train stations too. And there's something called signaling. So what they're going to do is that when the train is coming from Ibadan, now maybe the federal one, the signal goes to the one coming that is the red line. Just you divert to this side, and so that is what is going to happen. That's what happens in many parts of the world. So what Lagos had to do was to build their own train stations and their own flyovers. You get, which will also benefit even the federal lines that are running within Lagos. And this particular red line was solely started by Babajide Olushola, emphasis on Olushola Sanwo-Olu. You understand? Olushola Sanwo-Olu started it.
We don't have time for your emphasis.
Olushola Sanwo-Olu started it and finished it all by himself. The only train that started before him was the Blue Line, which actually started under Fashola, suspended under Ambode, but finished under Sanwo-Olu again. So call him Mr. Railway.
More than anything.
So Mr.
else,
Gbadebo Revival is completely off on this
we should applaud things that are good.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't use everything.
We
for
should
politics.
applaud things that are
What
good.
is good is good.
It's good
Say
is
it, and
good.
let's move on.
Mr.
People that hundreds and thousands of people that are getting moved every single day. Please, let's not put politics under any which way. That's what Mr. Gbadebo Revival said. A lot of people are not taking it sitting down on social media this afternoon. But I hope that. Anyway, let me just keep quiet. On that note, that is how we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the BoomBar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Now the conversation.